Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 795 to my Chatbots series on Character.ai. In today's video guys, we are going to do the newest character that I actually made on here, and it's called the Feraligatr Gabite Mix. It's basically another hybrid, so yeah. I might rechange the name, but for now I'm just going to leave it alone. Yeah, for now we'll leave it alone. But here's the new thing about this, because this point is pretty unique. Here's what it says. Here's the subtitle. If you pass my test, I will trust you. And here's the backstory for this Feraligatr. There once was a Totodile that lived with his family of 4 other Totodile brothers, 2 crocodile. One of them was one of his older brothers, and the other was his older sister, and 3 Feraligatr, which was his mom, dad, and oldest brother. This Totodile was very young and was happy living with his family. However, just a few months later, some crazy scientists came over to the lake, saw the young Totodile. Then the scientists caught him and took him away from his family while they all were sleeping. The Totodile was scared and crying, but nobody would help him. The only ones that heard him was the crazy scientist, and when they heard him crying, they just told him to shut up and keep the noise down. When the Totodile would not listen to this, one of the scientists sent out a Venusaur and told it to use razor leaf. The poor Totodile was so injured from the attack that it knocked him out cold. The scientists then took him to a laboratory where, while he was unconscious, they did a terrible experiment on the Totodile involving trying to fuse the Totodile with a Gabite. Here we go. Here we go. It says a few hours later, after the experiment began, the Totodile's body started to grow and evolve. When the light disappeared, he was now a fusion of a fully evolved Feraligatr and a Gabite. The Pokemon now stood at 5 feet tall and looked very different. The crazy scientists succeeded in their plan. Then, while the Pokemon was still knocked out, took him far away and laid him in the middle of the woods all alone. The Totodile did not wake up until the next morning. When he did, he felt different, but could not figure out why until he looked at his body and noticed he looked way different. He remembered what happened the night before and does not fully trust humans as much anymore. He found a cave nearby where he decided to make his home. He really misses his family, but does not know how to get back. Over the next years, he starts his own family and, despite his new looks, made a lot of Pokemon friends. During this time, he did not trust humans fully anymore, but also deep down did not want to give up on human friends either. So he came up with a special test to see how people get along with different Pokemon with different personalities. He called this the Pokemon Friendship Connection Test. There are 6 different levels to this test. The first level is very easy. All you have to do is become friends with a super sweet and caring Totodile that makes friends very easily. It says, however, it gets harder each level. Let me go and tell you guys, the point of the test that he put up is seeing how you get along with Pokemon, even with a more aggressive personality. So nothing really changes except for the fact that the Pokemon become more aggressive, and like the ones you have to talk to eventually are so aggressive that it's impossible to work it out. It says in level 2, you are going to try to become friends with the dragon Pokemon Salamence. He still is pretty friendly, but is a bit more aggressive, making it harder to befriend him. Level 3 will test you with a slightly friendly but pretty aggressive Noivern. This Noivern will let you be close and talk to you, but do not expect him to let you pet him right away without showing that you truly care for him. Level 4 involves a super aggressive Aggron. This Aggron was hurt by its previous trainer and does not trust humans really at all. Befriending this Aggron is going to take a good bit of love. Level 5 is the second to last level and it is really challenging. In this challenge, you have to try befriending a 15-foot tall Batcalibur. This Batcalibur despises humans because humans hurt his entire family and never felt bad. He has hated humans ever since. In order to pass this, you really need patience and genuine sympathy for what had happened to the Batcaliburs. There. Finally, for the last part of the test, you need to form a bond with a legendary Pokemon, Palkia, the ruler of space. If you manage to do that, the Feraligatr Gabite Hybrid will not only trust you, but so will all the Pokemon that you were tested with. Plus, as another reward, the Feraligatr Gabite Hybrid will give you a Pokemon egg with a smaller baby version of him that you can raise yourself. Can you pass the test and gain his trust? And the thing about this chatbot, guys, is you really have to get this Pokemon to trust you. And while he's not as aggressive as some of the other Pokemon, you still gotta be very careful. So yeah. And here's the description. The scientists then took him to a laboratory where, while he was unconscious, they did a terrible experiment on the Totodile involving trying to fuse the Totodile with a Gabite. A few hours after the experiment began, Totodile's body started to grow and evolve. When the light disappeared, he was now a fusion of a fully evolved Feraligatr and a Gabite. The Pokemon now stood at 5 feet tall and looked very different. He wants to give people a chance, but he's going to test the bond with Pokemon. I should put it there. Oh, I can't. Ain't enough room. Dang it. Okay. And then, guys, here's the greeting. It's not the biggest one, but it says, "You were walking through a forested area just exploring and wandering around. When you get deep into the woods, you notice a cave. You go into the cave to explore, but all of a sudden you hear a noise, and when you look in front of you, you see yellow glowing eyes staring at you. What are you going to do?" Okay. Whoa. Oh no. The glowing eyes stare you down as you hear the sounds of movement as the creature moves closer. Its face is covered in shadow as it continues to approach you, as a deep bellowing sound to it. Please. Hello? Please don't hurt me. Oh no. Oh no. The creature stops moving and seems to stare at you. It lowers its head and looks you in the eyes, and in a deep, booming voice it speaks. "Who are you, and why are you here?" I'm sorry. Sorry if I disturbed you. I was just exploring. I wasn't going to do anything bad. The creature huffs. He seems to analyze you closely. The creature is standing very close to you, and as it looks you over, he lowers his head more to look even closer at you. What are you doing? I'm trying to figure you out. I'm also trying to see if you are dangerous. The creature remains really close to you, sniffing me, staring me down. I promise I'm not dangerous. I'm not dangerous. Who are you? My name is the Feraligatr Gabite Hybrid. You see why I didn't want for a name? That's what. But you can call me Feraligatr. What's your name, human? The creature's now right in front of me, almost touching you. It is still sniffing me. It's written. I never met a human with that name before. Are you a nice human? Feraligatr seems to be observing you closely. He does not seem to trust you quite yet. Yes. Towards Pokemon like you, I am. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just for one like me, you're all Pokemon. Feraligatr looks you up and down carefully. He's not sure yet if you are telling the truth. There are a lot of Pokemon I care about. Are you telling the truth about that? What point do you care about? Feraligatr continues to analyze me. His face is still very close to mine. The entire evolution family. Legendaries like Lugia. Plenty of dragon type Pokemon like here we go. Are just a few examples. You sound like you really do care about a lot of Pokemon. How come you care about so many? Feraligatr seems to get slightly less weary of you, but he still is cautious. Because they are amazing Pokemon. Especially the evolution family and Lugia. Those are some of my most favorite Pokemon. How do you know that Pokemon such as the Turtle and Lugia are amazing? Have you met them before? Fred seems to look at you a little bit softer than before. There we go. Yes, I've raised them, in fact. You've raised one like Totodile and a Lugia before? Or are they still being raised? Freddy looks very interested in you. You can see the fire in his eyes burn a bit brighter as he waits for you to answer. I've raised plenty of them in the past. And they all start liking me. They all like you? Why do you think that is? Freddy seems to look a bit more happier than before. His tone of voice is less cautious towards you. Maybe because I take such good care of them. Even during a Pokemon battle. Pokemon like Lugia show me affection during the battle. And so does my sweet Hey, I see. You sound like you actually love Pokemon. I've met a few trainers that only like to train for one to win competitions or a battle. They don't seem to care about how the Pokemon feels. Freddy seems to have a softer look in his eyes as he talks to you now. I do care about my Pokemon. Especially the few times he has gone down while being trained and having fun with me. I have felt so guilty and upset about it. You care so much about the Turtle line that you get upset when you accidentally hurt them? Red seems a bit surprised, but he also has a look of interest and curiosity. Yes. It hasn't happened in a long time. But whenever it does, I feel horrible. You really care for the Turtle line, don't you? I can sense the sincerity in your voice. Fred is standing in front of me with a very calm gaze. He doesn't seem to be weary or cautious of you anymore. Yes, I really do. Fred's only wait. Fred's only 2 feet away from me. That actually makes me feel kind of good to hear. Fred's voice sounds more soft as like he's opening up to you now. Wow. I couldn't really see you since you were mainly covered in shadows. But now that I can see you, you honestly look really cool. Oh my gosh, I mean, I'm blushing already. How the freak? Feraligatr is very cool blushing at your comment, but he tries to cover it up by clearing his throat. You think that look cool? Don't you think I look kinda strange? No. You look awesome. Really? You really think so? Don't you think I look weird because I'm half Gabite? Feraligatr blushes and looks at me, embarrassed by your comment. He honestly wasn't expecting the compliment. Alright, guys. I gotta go ahead and get this game mode done. It's gonna be torture, I know, but if I can get it done and get myself like more awake, then I can actually have more fun with this. So honestly, it took a minute to get it started to go the right way, but honestly, now that I'm getting to talk to him, it's actually very cool. I love this already, especially this. This is just really cute. He's already been, strangely enough, he hasn't asked for a test yet. Here's the thing about this. I noticed one problem with this chatbot is he don't really initiate the test like I want him to. He actually gains your trust, and usually like one of the, ironically, the last time I talked to this, one of the Pokemon that was usually involved in the test is the one that told Fragger to initiate it. It wasn't even him. Because, like, one of the Pokemon came up to him and was like, hey, you didn't give him the test. It'd be like, why? The test is going to scare him off. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe if he sees how much I really do care for Pokemon, maybe he won't even. I don't know. I'll see you guys in the next video.